and he thankfully found these incredibly articulate children who were able to have this incredible point of view about life. And it's funny when you don't have a lot of distraction, which we have so many of in our Western, modern, privileged world. You do have to ask yourself the hard questions, and I think that's really why so many of the children that we met were so wise. And maybe I'm sure you can say that.
Yeah, the kids that we met were amazing. There's so many that didn't make it to the film that they were just so amazing. There's so many millions of kids in Malawi that are so great. But we got lucky and we found some. Or actually, they kind of found us. I mean, Finizo, the one boy, he's just a hustler. He just walked up to me and was like, I have an exam and I need pencils, and you look like a fellow that can give me pencils. And then I realized that this kid has something. So all these kids that are so inspiring, they really found us. And after all the research and all the time that I spent in the village, and Madonna as well, they really stuck out. It was about 4 kids that just were passionate about telling their stories and wanted the rest of the world to know the hardships of their life.
Well, also a very touching story that Nathan told me when he first went there was that he, when you are filming children, you put a little microphone on them so you can hear their dialogue, and was it Benito? He wanted to keep his microphone and take when he went home in case he got into trouble or he needed Nathan's help, he could call him.
Amazing kids.
Other questions? Yes, right over here.
No, thanks very much. What, if anything, does our government do to help the situation in Malawi?
The question for those of you who may not be able to hear it is, what does our government do? What can our government do to help Malawi? I don't have the answer to that. I'm not sure what our government does, period. Except get us further into debt and blow our countries. I don't think it's wise for us to rely on our government to come to the rescue of these people or any people in need. I think this is a call to action, and it's a call for us to take the first step. We need to be involved. We need to do the work. We need to stop relying on our government to do things to change the environment. The overwhelming number of people living in poverty. It's our job to change that, and I would think it was a fool's errand to rely on the government to do something. That's my answer.
Yes, right down here.
Thank you for the great documentary. I think it was very moving and very necessary. And I was wondering, I remember you had trouble starting all the process to the adoption of babies. I was wondering how come there are so many restrictions for such a
Why is it so difficult to adopt a child where there's so many orphans? Is that what you're asking? That's a good question. The word bureaucracy comes to mind. I think a big part of it is because suddenly this state of emergency it didn't suddenly just happen, but I think when people realized it or found out about it, me being one of them, there weren't really any adoption laws in place. And so, people can't just show up and adopt children. It's a very complicated process. Not only do you need to get permission from the government and the local government, but there are tribal traditions, and you have to go to the extended family, and it's just it's a new concept, the concept of adoption, and so consequently it's very, very complicated, very, very time-consuming. And it's ironic because you think that, people should be, if they want to help and they want to save a child's life or give a child a better life, that, it should be something easier to do. So I guess if you really want to do it, you have to be willing to walk through the fire until it becomes harmonious. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm from a third world country, and I can relate to some of that.
Where are you from?
From Brazil.
Brazil.
And we have so many things like to compare to that, and we want to help. But at some point, we cannot go further. There's a wall, and we cannot go after the wall. Where do we go from here? How can we? What do we need to do?
What do you mean by the wall? What's stopping you from going further?
I have no help. I have no.
To help the people from your country?
Not from my country. Like I want generally like, why not everybody? Why just my country or Malawi? What can we do to make it better for everybody else?
Well, I think Jeffrey Sachs said this very well in the film. You know, if everybody just tunes in to the idea that we are all interconnected and that your behavior affects the world around you, the community around you, the person standing next to you. If everybody just started thinking that way, the world would change. So you might not have money to make, contributions. You might not be able to get on an airplane and go and be a volunteer, but if you can just treat, like I said earlier, the people around you, your family, your significant other, your children, your parents with dignity and respect, and without prejudice and without being judgmental, then you're already making the world a better place, and that doesn't cost money.